responsibility to provide our next generation with the guidance, the fortitude, the strength, the community, and knowledge that they need to succeed.
We gotta cancel culture, change the way our kids are thinking. Think about the pain and anguish. We can save next generation. Break the cycle, no administration. Replacing anger with contemplation. Gotta teach them how to use their minds. Remind our kids they born divine. With a right to be, with a right to live, with a right to be exactly.
All right. Hey, welcome. It's me again, Coach B. This is a Pie Talk podcast production. And welcome to Anger Management for Parents with Coach B. So what I'll be doing in these segments is I'll be actually going through this book here, Anger Management for Parents. It's not the kids, it's you. And this book is written by Matthew Graham. So my intention is to go through this book chapter for chapter. We'll use some other resources that I have, or Anger Management Essentials, written by Anita Avidian. This was actually the person who certified me as an anger management specialist. And also there's the really cool tool here, for some exercises that we might do in these segments. If you're willing, make sure you take a look at the anger meter and see where you're at on here. So this is something I decided to do. The people want some anger management stuff incorporated with some parent instructions. So I just want to read this book. Every episode we'll just go chapter for chapter, right? I'll read along, learn along. I'll have a little discussion about, how some of the stuff in this book is hidden. And what I really like to do is just start with the introduction. So the first page, right? For every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Ralph Waldo Emerson made that quote. If you have picked up this book, it's safe to assume that its title may have resonated with you. A deep desire for transformation. Perhaps you sought guidance from those around you only to find that their well-intended advice left you unsatisfied. Deep down, you know life should be different, and the need for change has been tapping into your mind for some time now, and yet you feel stuck. Unsure of where to begin or how to proceed, the desire for positive change burns within you, and the time for action is long overdue. The burdens of everyday life can feel insurmountable. You're faced with constant pressures from all directions: work, social expectations, relationships, financial goals, family, and friends. It seems as though you can't catch a break. Even a mere 5 minutes of peace feels like an unreachable fantasy. Frustration simmers at every turn and anger spills over, drenching your loved ones and children. Shouting has become second nature, and conflicts erupt like popcorn in the heated microwave, one after the other. So far, yeah, I can resonate with what this person has written, right? During moments of introspection, you may feel appalled and even guilty about your behavior. As an adult, you're expected to know better. So there's no excuse, right? You adore your children and want the best for them, but they just won't listen. It's baffling how those sweet, innocent, and loving infants can transform into the very source of your unyielding stress and anger. Depending on your circumstances, you might even question your love for your children, given how easily irritation and rage seem to surface around them. Surely, a loving parent wouldn't respond this way, would they? Whether you're a new parent struggling to navigate the uncharted waters of this full-time job called parenting, or you've come to realize that your parenting approach is no longer acceptable, I commend you. Picking up a book like this one shows you're proactive in finding solutions. You've recognized a problem, and now you're on the hunt for answers. So whether you went and ordered this book before chapter 1, weekly or bi-weekly, I haven't decided how often I'll do these, but I will get through this whole book in these segments. It's up to you. You can just listen as I read, and I'll go through some of these exercises, or you can get the book and we can do this all together and follow along. I found this book on Amazon. First off, let me assure you that it's not your fault. The anger and frustration you're experiencing and the methods you employ to raise your children stem from the conditioning you absorbed from your parents. With this, I agree. If your father had a fiery temper and a quick hand, and your mother possessed a cutting tongue, it's likely you've inherited these traits. If they were short tempered and irritable with you, the odds are you'll exhibit the same behavior towards your children. And I've often said in my approach to anger management, I come with the concept called AC, because AC is what we run to when it's hot outside, right? We want AC to cool down. Anger raises the temperature in our body. My AC for anger management is authentic curiosity, which means ask yourself those questions internally first. Why am I getting so angry? Why do I feel this way? Why does this particular button of mine get pushed? And we'll get into that, right? Essentially, you are the product of your upbringing, and without a conscious effort to be better and different from your parents, you're merely perpetuating the cycle of past experiences, mannerisms, actions, habits, and behaviors you witnessed as a child. Even if you seem to have overcome your parents' angry patterns, you may still harbor deep seated feelings of anger and resentment that could be passed down to the next generation. This is how a destructive cycle silently ensnares a family for generations. Although it's not your fault for how you were raised and the impact it has had on you, you now have the power and responsibility to change and shape yourself into the person you want to be. This sounds like pie. The pursuit of internal evolution is what this whole channel is about. Becoming the best version of yourself in all aspects. To transform, you must maintain unwavering focus and a vivid mental image of your desired outcome. Vividly imagine the person you're striving to be and feel the transformation already taking place. Picture your days filled with happiness, love, and serenity, a harmonious home in which laughter and cherished memories replace arguments and tension. Leave behind the anger, stress, and frustration of the past. Instead, embrace happiness, calmness, and inner peace. Understand that you alone are responsible for crafting the life you desire. This will give you a sense of purpose and fuels you with energy, determination, and hope. The journey won't be easy, but you must understand that true rewards are never simply handed to you. When it comes to parenting and anger management, the terrain is vast and complex, with countless variables and unique situations. To me, every single person is as unique as the fingerprints are different. So there is no one size fits all blanket when it comes to parenting, because your three kids, they might be the exact same ages and genders as my three kids, but those three personalities are all individually and collectively vastly different than my three kids versus your three kids, right? So you're going to have to do a lot of internal work and use that AC. Get authentically curious when your kids are showing big emotions. So when it comes to parenting and anger management, the terrain, you've already taken the first three crucial steps. And according to this book, one is acknowledging and recognizing the issue. Two, establishing your goal. You're going to sit down with me in these segments. That's a goal, right? And then three, seeking assistance. You've already sought your assistance. You get to watch me, Coach B, read through this, provide some valuable tools, hopefully, and increase the quality of your parenting and yourself. So let this book serve as the cornerstone of knowledge on the intersection of parenting and anger. It aims to illuminate the intricate web of challenges connecting parenting and anger, from various forms of irritation to their far reaching consequences. You will learn how to regulate your emotions and transform your perspective on anger inducing situations by focusing on foundational principles. I'm going to rephrase that to we will learn. I'm reading this book with you, right? Thus changing the way your mind processes anger and frustration and any stress associated with parenting. You'll gain the ability to focus on more vital tasks, such as empowering yourself, nurturing your happiness, and fostering your child's holistic growth. As a parent, it's not just about managing our children's behavior, but also about understanding our own reactions and emotions. By focusing on our own responses and attitudes, we can create a more peaceful and positive environment for our children to grow and thrive. This book will provide you with the tools and strategies to shift your focus inward, helping you to understand that the key to better behavior might not lie solely in your children, but in your own actions and reactions. Remember, it's not the kids, it's you. With great excitement, I offer you this blueprint for success, which, when applied diligently, can address many of the issues you face and elevate your life. The reason why I'm smiling is because the philosophy that is the foundation of Pi is actually called A Blueprint to Recovery. And we'll get into that. Many of the issues you face and elevate your life, be prepared to unlearn old habits, embrace new perspectives with an open mind, and commit to applying what you learn. You stand on the precipice of a new chapter in life, one that will reshape the narrative and lead you to places you've only dreamed of. The need for positive change has been whispering in your ear, and now it's time to listen. As you turn the pages, or listen as I turn the pages and read them, right? Let the words envelope you like a guiding light, illuminating the path toward a brighter, more fulfilling existence. With each step, you'll move closer to the change you've been yearning for, and it starts right here, right now. A new life brimming with possibilities awaits you. The power to build it is in your hands. Are you ready for the challenge? Are you ready for Pie Talk, Coach B's, parenting? Let's go. Okay, before we get into the next chapter, which will be the next video, we're going to kind of do a little backstory, a little research, right? So I developed a blueprint to recovery, and a blueprint stands for Betterment, Love, Unity. That's the blue, BLU. Print is preserve and recovery, intentionally navigating trauma. And with that is some agreements. These are the blueprint agreements. And they go as follows. I agree that I want to make changes to better myself, my life, and my relationships. Today, I am making the following internal agreements to write a narrative for myself that I can be proud of and take ownership of. I agree to be better than I was yesterday, to be the best version of myself in any given moment, and to focus on what I can do, what I control, and what I invest my energy in. I agree to love myself first, putting positive energy, thought, time, and action into my own well being and treating myself as if I am my own very best friend by acknowledging my strengths, appreciating my beauty, and protecting myself in all ways. I agree to connect with others in a positive and authentic way. I can accept that curiosity fosters connection. I agree to look for the commonalities among others and myself and practice open mindedness when confronted with something new by asking questions that are meant to seek understanding and promote unity. I agree that I will do my best to preserve my progress in recovery and growth and to use the tools I have gained and will gain to be intentional in my healing. I will seek to face my past, present, and future experiences with intent to navigate trauma with as little collateral damage to others as possible. I will do my best to remind myself not to hold others responsible for my behavior, my trauma, or my peace. Although I may have been a victim, I agree today I am not a victim, and I will not victimize anyone in the process of my healing journey. With this blueprint, I agree to start the process of building a foundation for the life I know I deserve and the recovery I admit is possible. I agree to add these principles to my toolbox, among others, for the betterment of myself, my family, and my community. Most importantly, I agree that I am worth it. And at the very last part of this agreement says we are what we agree to. And we are. And that's what it boils down to, right? You write your own narrative. You decide who you are, what kind of parent you're going to be, what kind of partner you're going to be, what kind of employee you're going to be. It's up to you. You can't let other people decide that for you. And as a parent, sometimes they say it takes a village, but really, it also takes a positive village. It takes a collaborative effort from the village to not put you down as a parent, to not step in and try to tell you how to do things differently or that you're parenting wrong or right. It's about living up to your best self. Becoming the best version of yourself automatically allows you to be the best version of your task. You're the best version of you, and you can look in the mirror and feel good about that. Then you'll be the best version of you as a parent. You'll be the best version of you as a friend, as a sibling, as an employee, as a partner. And so, without further ado, let's look at this. We have a exercise here. It is called anger buttons, right? Have you ever heard the expression pushing my buttons? So everyone has their own anger buttons. These are certain things that really get you upset and trigger your angry behavior. In my trauma informed work as a certified peer counselor, in a lot of spaces, we have changed the word trigger to activate. So, what are some of the things that get you to activate? What activates your anger response? But keep in mind, you are not a computer. When someone pushes your buttons, that leads to an activation of a big emotion, which usually is anger. It's what we're talking about. You have a choice as to how you behave in response. Emotional regulation, anger is really aggression management. It's not about anger management. Emotional regulation isn't about getting rid of your emotion or not feeling feelings. It's about managing your external response when you're activated in a feeling. Are you going to physically cry? Are you going to kick something? Are you going to yell at somebody? These are the things that we are trying to manage. That is what adds to your score on the emotional intelligence section of life. We want to be able to not have our puppet strings pulled and our arms just yanked up, right? That's my take on emotional regulation. On anger management is really aggression management, reducing the stress in yourself. Well, here is a really good picture, right? And you can draw that or just think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 situations, right? Describe something that regularly triggers your anger, aka activates your anger. For example, when someone makes a joke about my family, choose a 1 or 2 word phrase to represent that trigger and write it on a button or write it on one of these lines. Get a piece of paper, write down 5 things, and just break it down into like 2 words. For example, the example they use is someone makes jokes about my family. And so your button would say family jokes. If boop, family jokes is pushed, you're activated. All right. And then think about being aware of your anger buttons, practicing recognizing when you're activated or when they are about to be activated so you can make conscious choices about how you will react in response. And these things take practice. This isn't going to be a one time fix all. You're going to have to work on these. You're going to have to look at these buttons. You know, if you want to draw this picture on a stick figure and make these circles, and these are all the buttons, right? Look at the buttons. Is it family jokes? Is it line cutters, right? Someone cuts you in line when you're in a long line in the grocery store or whatever, and they cut you off, or it takes a parking spot when you're sitting there with your blinker on and someone whips in. Like, what are things that push your buttons that cause you to be activated, right? That is the key because it boils down to identifying them. The phrase pushing one's buttons is often used to refer to actions that one person takes which trigger or activate another person's anger. So if you are not giving responsibility for your emotional state to another human being, then you have to also take accountability by removing that responsibility from somebody else. You take ownership of it. So when you're activated, when you become angry, it's on you. You have decided to become angry. It is said the amygdala is activated, which is what causes anger. And it's like a 2-second reaction. After that 2 seconds, anger is a choice. People, you and I, me especially, I used to live in anger. I used to choose it over and over and over and activate it every time I thought about the thing that I was angry with or that I was choosing to sit in anger about. It would re-trigger. So that I was firing off those 2 seconds of activating this anger over and over, perpetually, on purpose, on my own. So identifying these things, removing the responsibility from somebody else, and taking ownership of any time you sit in anger will become the first steps towards managing your external reactions to being activated. It's really essentially that's the start of it. And that is the introduction to the book, Anger Management for Parenting, Matthew Grand. If you want to order the book before the next episode drops, I advise it. Amazon has this book if you want to follow along. I will post this on the Pi Talk YouTube channel in its own playlist. So you can look for those, Anger Management for Parenting with Coach B. And I will also drop this in the Facebook group called the Parenting Bank. It's a public group, and those will be the only two places that you will be able to find this video. I will not post these on the typical podcast channels. This is only for those of you who want to watch and be a part and perhaps follow along with the book and really interested in just some anger management, parenting techniques and strategies. I will read from this book, so each episode will be a different chapter, but I'm also going to add my own skills and exercises, and there's other resources that go along with this. Also, some key resources in the community. There's a support group if you're in the Thurston County area, Mondays, 5:30 to 6:45, I believe, and it's called That Part Parenting. It is a support group / workshop class for parents, and it's PART is an acronym for, post. It's for parenting after recovery and reunification tools. So these are, this group, this class, and it's actually ran by my co-host, Priscilla Z, Coach Z, if you will. And from my understanding, it's a really good group. I developed it and I passed off the wand, and she's been running this group for a couple of months now. I get nothing but positive feedback from that. It's an in-person group at Pier Olympia, 522 Franklin Street. And other groups that you might want to check out. There's an org, Dads Move for Dads. It's a nonprofit organization. They do trainings and they have support groups. They do outreach in our community. I think they're based out of Tacoma. I once did an interview with Joe Saladino from Dads Move. A really great organization. Check them out. But that's that. That is your episode for today. That's the introduction, Anger Management for Parents with Coach B. It's a Pi Talk podcast production. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. Please share. We're trying to grow our page, but also I love this content. I'm certified in these things, but I'm more passionate about the results. I'm more passionate about giving back to the community and providing some skills and some tools. And that's just how I look at it. These are just tools. I'm just on the back of the truck handing out tools. You get to do with those tools whatever you want. You get to build whatever you want. You don't have to believe in all the tools. You don't have to use all the tools, but I'm giving them to you for free. Hey.